The Phantom Apprentice gave us a lot of tidbits. This Clone Wars episode was something that never stops giving. And one of the many things that we learned was that Obi Wan was practically furious after he learned about the death of Count Dooku.
Because Count Dooku is dead. Anakin killed him while rescuing the Chancellor. With Dooku gone, we've lost a vital link to understanding the mystery of Darth Sidious.
What's worse, the manner of how Anakin killed him. So if you're following the Clone Wars series right now, the Siege of Mandalore is in full swing. These past few days, I've talked a lot about Maul and how he tried to recruit Ahsoka Tano, how he will probably talk with Darth Sidious one last time as he is executing Order 66, and even how he probably planned to recruit Obi Wan to his side in order to kill Anakin Skywalker and prevent Sidious from gaining another apprentice in Darth Vader. I plan to cover a lot of tidbits during this episode, but one of them we have to talk about as of right now is the brief moment where Obi-Wan and Ahsoka talk to each other privately. So as you know, the show is fully overlapping with Revenge of the Sith. The Phantom Apprentice episode has now completely entered into Revenge of the Sith territory and is basically in the midst of it. During that conversation between Obi-Wan and Ahsoka, Obi-Wan establishes where exactly the episode and the arc as a whole takes place in terms of Revenge of the Sith. Obi-Wan goes on to mention that Anakin has killed Count Dooku, and subsequently now, General Grievous is the leader of the Separatists. Therefore, Obi-Wan will leave to Utapau to seek out General Grievous, and Anakin is to spy on Chancellor Palpatine. This basically tells us the timeline that we are with the Clone Wars. It is at the middle of the Revenge of the Sith saga. What you might have missed, however, is that during that conversation, we see the disappointment in Obi-Wan after he learned that Anakin had killed Count Dooku. You see, years ago, Obi-Wan had learned of a secret Sith Lord controlling the Republic, and that was Darth Sidious. He had learned this name from Count Dooku himself. Now that Ahsoka learned the same name from Maul, they were starting to put the pieces together. The one problem was that Count Dooku was now dead. The Jedi Council and Obi-Wan alike planned to capture Count Dooku first and interrogate him in order to find out the real identity of this secret Sith Lord, Darth Sidious, that is causing turmoil within the Galactic Senate. So first of all, we need to talk about Anakin's responsibility. I think we all know that Obi-Wan fully believes Count Dooku should have been arrested instead of killed. The man was literally unarmed. Anakin defeated him to such an extent that Count Dooku was done. However, as we all know, the do it line came in. Palpatine encouraged Anakin to kill Dooku in cold blood and end this nightmare once and for all. Instead, Palpatine wanted to lure Anakin to the dark side inch by inch. This was one of his ways to do so. So to start with, Obi-Wan has a problem with how Anakin handled things, but then we move to a different point, and that is the lost information. I think this is what Obi-Wan is relaying to Ahsoka at this moment mostly, is that his disappointment that they will now never learn the real identity of this Darth Sidious unless Ahsoka is successful with Darth Maul, if she could eventually bring it out of Maul, which had slim to none chance. Their best chance of learning the real identity of Sidious was capturing Dooku, imprisoning him, and interrogating him to the point where he could relay that information, but sadly, Anakin did not think so. He killed him in cold blood, and now Obi-Wan is understandably furious. Now, in this channel, I want to be as fair as possible, so in talking about Obi-Wan's disappointment in Anakin, if we think about different aspects of Anakin, and was he justified in killing Count Dooku? Well, in one side, Anakin is a galactic peacekeeper by nature. He is a Jedi. He is justified in killing a man who was waging war against an otherwise somewhat peaceful republic. And to go even deeper, Dooku was not the first separatist that Anakin had killed during this war. Anakin was responsible for many more deaths. In fact, you can even argue that by killing Dooku, this was the beginning of the end of this tragic war. Since Dooku died, he left Grievous, the only military leader the Separatists had left, and this definitely set them back, as Dooku was much more formidable than Grievous. Later, Obi Wan would kill Grievous as well. You can make the argument that he was about to die, but Obi Wan could have made it a point to arrest Grievous instead of kill him. So things are not as black and white as they seem. Another point we can make is that while it is somewhat justified killing a tyrant and a monster like Dooku, the way he was killed was not justified. If we boil it down, the Jedi Code basically forbade a Jedi from killing a literal unarmed enemy. Anakin even admitted that to Palpatine. As Palpatine congratulated him, Anakin was still shaky, as that was not the Jedi way. In any case, Dooku may as well been a dead man walking if he was arrested, regardless of Anakin's inner turmoil and his consideration. Dooku was a helpless man who had probably many crimes under his belt and was a figurehead of a group that wasn't hesitant of committing a lot of atrocities as the Confederacy. If he had been imprisoned, he would most definitely been sentenced to death. He would have most definitely been given a death sentence within the Republic for his atrocities, but to Obi-Wan's point, all he is mad about is that his pursuit of Darth Sidious is now gone. No longer can they interrogate Dooku about that information. But I want to know, what do you guys think about all of this? Talk to me down below in the comments. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up down below, subscribe for dailies. Now you have an awesome day, Star Wars fans. I'll see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you. Until then.